Basically, well, Andrew knows about this story. There's this. My mum has never been scared of anyone in her life before. Never. Or my uncle.
Yeah.
But she was saying that when she was a little girl, this is a true. Well, this is a true story what my uncle and my mum told me, and they have no reason to lie.
That's fair enough.
She was saying that basically her and her brother, as a little boy and a little girl, were really scared of this one man, and he used to live right opposite, kind of right where they used to live. And instead of actually, every time they used to come home from school, they actually used to walk across, actually deliberately used to cross the road,
yeah,
and then cross back, so they don't, because of this guy. His name was Gorian, I think, or something like that. He was a very short man, kind of like...
Scary face.
Yeah, basically. And there was rumours that, he was practicing black magic and that kind of stuff. And once, my grandmother was very, very poor, and she was bringing up 6 kids, and she was like struggling like anything. He was like saying, would you want some money, obviously, to bring up the kids? He was struggling. Yeah, and she was like saying, of course I do, I'm always struggling with kids and everything like that, but there's no way I'm going to sell my soul to you, And he said, he made a really wise decision there, right? And then he was married like to this young woman, this really young woman. She was pretty and everything, and they would always used to say to her, why didn't you just leave him? He's old man, he's got this hold on you. And she used to say that she just couldn't escape, and every time, like once every night, he would go into this room, lock the door, and he would say, under no circumstances to open the door, even if I'm begging you or anything like that. She would hear him like making noises, like praying and screaming, like kind of let me out, but under no circumstance she should never, open the door or anything like that. And then one day when they were he was in the field or anything like that, he just I don't know how he died. He just died, but the way he died, he was actually, when you would normally die, you just fall or collapse on the floor or anything like that. He was actually standing up.
What, he died standing up?
He was dead. He was just standing up straight like that, dead. And my mum's like in her 70s, and my uncle's in their 70s, and they haven't been scared of anyone in their lives. So for them to be scared of him, that just tells a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you were telling some kind of a ghost story earlier, weren't you?
I don't know if it's so much ghost. There's been a few incidents, and basically there was the first one. We used to live in a 1-bedroom flat, and Charlie had just been born. No, he was very, very young. Probably he must have been about 6 months old. And obviously he was in our room, and I was in the front room playing PS1. As sad as I am, and Alex was asleep, and she woke up because of Charlie. I don't know, she just felt something, and she saw a man sitting on the edge of his bed, just looking at him, and completely dismissed it. Thinking it was me, just looking. And I'm not sure if it was that night later on, or the next day, but I think it was that night later on, because obviously I've made a noise or something because I'm still up till 6 o'clock in the morning. And she's come in and she said, "Oh, I thought he was in the room. I thought he was talking to Charlie." I said, "No, I ain't been in the room all night." So I've been playing this stupid game, whatever it was. She said, "Well, there was a man sitting on the edge of his bed talking to him, like looking at him." And I said, "Well, what did he look like?" And she described him. Bearing in mind, she never even knew what my real dad looked like. She described him to a T. Because he looked very similar to me, but he had a big, thick moustache. And I was like, "No, that won't be." And then when she said it, and I thought like, "Oh God, I don't want to say anything," and I left it. Anyway, we talked about it a little time afterwards, and I said, "Yeah." She saw a picture. She said, "That's what he looked like," because the only picture I've got of my dad is a plate that was made with his picture on it with my mum when they were first together. And then when she saw it, maybe it must have been moving or whatever. I don't know what it was. And then she was, "That's the man that was looking." Was sitting in the end of his bed. But also another time that happened was when we were sitting in the front room, and Charlie was in his room. He's probably, I can't remember how old he was, about 2 or 3, maybe 3, and he was talking like a proper conversation for a 3-year-old. Not saying like he was having mass discussion. But actually, like, someone was asking him questions and he was answering the questions, sort of thing. And when we went in there to see what he was doing, he was like, what are we doing? He's like, oh, I'm talking to the man. Well, what man? He said, the man that was at the end of the bed. Boy, did that shit me, freak me, you know, because then it reminded me of when Alex had been seen that, you know, a couple of years before. And it wasn't long afterwards, we sort of like, we moved out, we didn't stay there long. But yeah, that was that one. And then there was that other night she had that freaky one, do you remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, how freaky was that?
Mm-hmm. Very.
Seriously, I don't know whether it was her just having a mad nightmare, but I've never heard her scream so loudly. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning, wasn't it? I was downstairs.
I was asleep.
He was asleep next
No,
door.
I wasn't asleep. I couldn't have been.
Well, he was next door.
Yeah.
And even knew who's my lodger down, he's down the bottom. 3 o'clock in the morning, she was screaming, Alex was. And like saying, get away, and all this, wasn't it? What did she say? I can't remember what she said.
I don't know.
Because you went in the room, I didn't go in the room.
Oh, that one, yeah. I know the one you're talking about. Oh, that was weird. I can't remember. I forgot.
That was, yeah, the screams.
That's good enough. I forgot.
I thought, because I mean, I dismiss a lot of her screams because she you know, when there's something happening, she'll scream and it's not nothing major. So I thought I'd give it a couple of minutes and I'll sit down. So I thought that's fine. In the morning she said there was someone in the fucking room looking at her right next to her when she woke up in the bed. I'm not saying it was a ghost or anything, probably more likely a nightmare, but she screamed and we all woke up. Him, me and Yuri downstairs. We was all asking, where was that? She goes, no, there was someone in the room, there was someone in the room. Go away, screaming like that. She was...
Oh yeah, that was the one when the one came upstairs and she got well pissed off because no one cared.
No, it wasn't so much no one cared, but we didn't dismiss it because she screams at anything, you know. But I don't know if that
was you screaming, help, help, help.
There was something, yeah.
No one was there.
No one came. We just left her.
No, I went straight in and no one was there.
Yeah.
No, I went straight in and no one was there because it's my mum in there. I'm not a horrible cunt like him.
Oh.
Yeah, well, you're with her and you don't do anything.
It's not that, because I'm sitting downstairs and I've got the dogs and the dogs don't know nothing, so that's it, I'm fine. If the dogs and cats don't know anything...
Oh, the cats would run off downstairs.
No, they didn't. There's been times when I felt like I've had presences in the room. Especially for my dad. I've always had that funny feeling every now and then. You know. Don't know.
I saw someone in the mirror once, but I don't want to go into.
Rubbish.
No, it scared me. I looked in the mirror and I still stand behind me. We look back, no one there.
Bollocks, that was a film.
No.
Come on.
It wasn't even like a person, it was just like, you know when you think you see someone and you dismiss it, innit? Because you're just looking like normal. You just see that.
That's just how I think most of us dismiss it. We've been brought up to dismiss everything anyway, haven't we?
Mm.
We don't use our sixth sense.
Because you look back and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, we don't use it at all. It's like what you were saying about the shaman, wasn't it? When they showed him a picture of the, what's his name? Darth Maul.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the bloke was pretty shit scared, wasn't he? Because it was like the picture of what he...
I think he said, how do you know about... And he said the name of whatever it was.
Yeah, some demonic thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think the researcher was like, what?
Yeah.
And he goes, this is what the tribe used to see a long time ago. And I think they showed him cave paintings or something, and there was like stuff that looked like it.
Mm.
So it's either...
Yeah, but it's similar to... that's what freaked me out. You didn't like the film, either, you? Insidious.
You know what? It's a good film, but there was something about it I didn't like. It
You
could
know
have
that
been
demon
bad.
is what's supposed to be like one of the demons, look like one of the most common demons, like famous ones.
You didn't freak out that
Did he look like Darth Maul in that one?
One
Yeah.
bit of it. Only one bit.
Yeah.
Oh, when he's standing behind it,
That's right, yeah. Yeah.
That
was cool.
When I see that bit, because she was just sitting there having her breakfast or something, wasn't it? And you just suddenly see half the face behind her, wasn't it? I was
Yeah.
like, well, I still get pimples thinking of it.
Is that... You see like a little boy running around as well in that movie?
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
And a bit over the cot when you see
Yeah.
but you don't actually see it at first and you suddenly just see it appear.
Well, you know what you're talking about with the shaman thing?
Mm.
The true story of Nightmare on Elm Street.
What?
Because Nightmare on Elm Street is based on a true story, innit? And
Well,
it
that's
happened in
what
their
you-
sleep, innit? And they were getting murdered in their sleep.
They were getting, yeah.
And that's a
people
true
dying-
story.
dying in their
What?
sleep.
No,
Really?
Nightmare on Elm Street is based on a true story.
Not in the same way as
No,
a
no,
Freddy
not in the
Krueger
same
style.
way. No, they were dying in their sleep, and all saying that there's something's coming for them, and they were just dying.
I don't know, like that with my dad being on the bed and all this lot. That's sort of scary shit. For me, because I never liked him anyway. He was a bastard from what I can remember. I don't have many memories. But it wouldn't surprise me. You can't dismiss things like that. I think it's too. You have to be very gullible to, or I don't think that gullible is the word. If you dismiss things because you don't see them, doesn't mean it's not there.
This is science way of living, isn't it?
Well, no, because if you think about it, you know, it's like when if you want to go into philosophy and stuff like that, what you don't see doesn't mean to say, just because someone tells you, everyone tells you this is what this looks like, but you've never seen it, doesn't mean to say it's not real, is it? You believe it because people have told you. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I think if you, it's like the same thing with aliens and stuff like that. Just because you haven't seen them doesn't mean to say they're not there. I'm glad I don't see them. Not aliens. I'm talking like ghosts and things like that. I'd be shitting my bricks if we saw that.
It's interesting because I've got a really interesting question for you. You work with pest control,
Yeah.
so you deal with what many people would consider really scary things.
Pretty much. And I deal with them in very, very scary places as well.
So yeah, you go underground,
Oh boy.
dark places,
Oh boy.
scary creatures.
Yep.
But when it comes to ghosts and monsters, it's a different story with you.
Yeah, man.
What's that about?
I remember when I was a kid. I remember when I was about 7. I went and stayed with my step cousin. They were so much older than me. They were like 15, 16 and 18 and so on. And I'm like 7. So when I went round to stay the night, they scared the fuck out of me in that place, man. Seriously. And they made me watch some film. Now, I would love to see it because,
Probably so shit.
yeah, I know that film is going to be so pants. But when I watched that film, when I was that age, I can still visualise that kind of monster thing through the caves and tunnels with long claws and like it seemed quite hairy. It was the way it walked, and I mean we're talking in the 70s, so it's got to be cheesy and pony. But that night they was scaring me at the top of the stairs, bottom of the stairs. Everywhere I went, I was getting scared, and I don't think I slept at all night. And also because I was quite cold there as well. Like the blanket they gave me wasn't warm enough, and I think that might have hampered it. And I remember just in the room, it's all dark because they went to bed and they all turned the lights off. And I'm in a place I don't really stay. I've never been to before, and I've been scared shitless for like 4 hours, pretty much like this. That I can remember being. I always remember that bit. I don't know why. Well, it's like I said, that film was so shit. I'd love to see it again, but it wasn't anyone famous or anything in it. I just remember certain sections of it. Ever since then, I've just always had that. Always been like that. Always. It's weird. I remember one time I went out. I'll tell you what really freaked me out. There was one time I went out with this bird. Oh fuck me. And
Was she that bad?
yes and no. I can't remember her name for the life of me. She had a lovely body, don't get me wrong. She was really fit.
Or she had a monster face?
But no, listen. She was, no. She wasn't like that. She wasn't the prettiest bird, but she wasn't ugly. But she had a really nice figure. And I knew her from school, but she had long, like ginger curly hair.
Oh.
Yeah, but we didn't like it. Me and my mate, we were always ripping at each other about GPs and all that lot. And but there was something about her. Anyway, she had a really fit older sister, and she was always dark. Like always wearing the black and always dark. And we went down there because we was, my mate was trying to get over with the sister, and I was going through the other one. And I remember we were sitting there, and the sister said, "Oh, I've got something I want to do for you." I'm like, "Okay." Now this was freaky, right? So we sat in her. She had a through lounge, but they had the doors. And she said, right, and she made it all dark. We had to sit there. She said, now listen to this. And she played a werewolf album. The albums of the black discs. I
know records, so I still use them.
Seriously. And it was like, like you can hear it. And it felt like it was going through trees. And bearing in mind, we're in this darkness like this. And it gets louder. And the proper like roaring or growling of a wolf kind of beast. It must have gone on for about 20 minutes, so I'm not joking, getting louder and louder and louder. and she burst through the door just at the end of it when it peaked. And even my mate Robert, we bricked it. Absolutely bricked it. It was perfect. The ambience of the whole... ambience of the scenario. Fantastic. But anyway, so, you know, got friendly with this girl anyway, got really, really friendly, and then was, they were always into, like, dark things, you know, like the sister was into... It was like a sort of like an advanced goth, because goth wasn't popular then, but they were like that kind of style. And she was into like candles all around the house and all that, you know, and it was all dark and red. And so anyway, we went round. I went round there one night and she was dressed up with all the kinky stuff.
This is the older sister, yeah?
No, the younger one.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I mean, I must have been about 14, 15. I can't remember the older sister, to be fair. Anyway, but when she had her room in this. With this red, the way she had the red light on and everything, it was really, really like red, and so everything sort of like there's no colour differentiation. It's black or it's white, sort of thing. Yeah. She started talking about some weird, scary stuff. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like witchcrafting and stuff like that. Really sort of like I was thinking, okay, maybe I should be going now, sort of thing. And it's the way she was sort of like facing towards the wall, and she said something, and the way she turned her head to look at me, in my mind, didn't make sense the way that her head turned towards me, and she looked at me like here, and the eyes were just pure black, quite, I mean proper black, and I just looked, and I went, I gotta go, and I seriously, I got up, I got dressed, and I left. And I was walking home that night and the storm was brewing and all the trees were sort of like arched over and it was just complete like a tunnel. I was going down and I just felt her presence all around me as I'm running home. I was legged it. I ran so fast going home to get home. I walked in. My mum goes, "You all right?" I'm like, no. I was in the bath, shower, cleaning myself. Never ever did I speak to her again. And I'll tell you what, I saw her about 5 or 6 years ago, and I don't think she's ever cut her hair because it was down to her ankles. It's got knots of ginger now. It goes darker, doesn't it? Proper freak. She's a proper freak. But the way she turned that head that night and what she was talking about, some kind of witchcrafting thing, that's it. Put my pants. Pooped it.
So wait a second. Her eyes went completely
They were black. They just looked so black.
Yeah.
Maybe because it was me building myself up. And I started to look around the room, and I just went, "Nah, that's it. I'm out of here." And that was the. And to be fair, since that moment, right, I made sure it was nice, normal girls. Never again, kind of freaky stuff. I could, you know, because she wasn't freak, but borderline, if that makes sense. And it just done me in. And then pretty much that's probably why I don't really sleep at night. Not because of that, but all these other little scenarios. I really rarely sleep through the night.
And what's the thing you're scared of the most? Zombies. Isn't it?
Yeah, I always dream about zombies. When I have nightmares, I have this.
Sometimes you hear like if you ever has a nightmare, it's always about zombies.
Yeah,
always.
Man.
Really?
If I watch a zombie film, I guarantee you that night I'm having a dream about zombies eating me. The chase.
So how did you react when we had that zombie thing?
Well, he was doing well until you came along.
No. On the night of it, did you have a nightmare? Or?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Well, I don't know, but you said I was snoring funny and making some weird noises when I was sleeping in Elton's house that night.
You always snore. Well, that's just new to him.
No, but you said I was making noises in that, wasn't it, last year?
But that's probably the first time.
I think we probably all snort that night.
Yeah, maybe. No, but Zombies comes back from the days when I think I watched one of those old school classic zombies.
Romero movies.
Yeah, man.
But they're not even fast. You can run away.
But that's the thing. They still get you.
It's just because of the numbers.
Yeah.
It's not because of the speed, it's because of the numbers.
Yeah.
But nowadays,
that's why I didn't like 28 Days and
Yeah.
stuff like that, because, and even the new remakes of them, because they made them fast.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that. I was thinking, no, that's going outside the comfort zone, you know what I mean? But no, I've never liked zombies. I never liked the thought of being trapped and...
Yeah, but they actually do zombification.
Well, they do. It depends. Well, that one, what was that film that was... Oh, your mum loves it. She loves that film. Where they show you about the zombies, but not... It's to do with the voodoo and how they actually put people, normal people, drug them, and bury them for 3 days. That's a really clever concept, because you're not so much at what they class as a zombie is not people going around eating flesh, because they've had such a traumatic time in that coffin, buried for 3 days.
Isn't it in Africa they do that with like the
No, it was in Tahiti.
Yeah, it's because they become kind of like a brain damaged person,
Completely
right?
brain damaged, and that's it. And they walk around like that kind of.
And they just follow commands, and
Yeah,
so they become a slave kind of thing.
a slave to
Whoever's
put
controlling
the
them.
spell on.
Because it's like a drug or something that they use, isn't it?
Yeah, it was from the pufferfish, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, was it pufferfish? Oh, and there was like another one, I think, some kind of
Flat
venom from a
Oh.
frog or something.
Possibly, yeah, possibly.
Something like that.
Yeah,
But they definitely do it in real life. Like
they do sort of.
Well, they did
listen,
do it.
there's some weird shit that goes on. That's why I tell you what film really freaks me out. Things like Hostel, but it's
just walk past.
We used to go to an adventure playground called in Park Hill Road, where I used to live, and there was the older lot. Where I grew up in Camden, there was the young kids like my group, and then the 15 to 18-year-olds, the older group. And they, you know, older kids always wind you up and scare you up anyway. But there was one night that we was all there, and they wanted to do the Ouija board. And we were like, we were like me and I can't remember who was with me at that time.
The clever ones.
I was probably about 10, 11 maybe then. And I'd gone home. I used to always have to go home early. My mum was like pretty strict on the times. Everyone else was allowed to stay at 9, 10 o'clock. It was like 7:30 for me. There was 3 women there and 2 blokes that done it. And they did the Ouija board. And I wasn't there, so I don't know if this is true. But they you know, if something happened and, you know, they contacted someone and someone was moving it or whatever, they all thought it was bullshit. But something happened that night when the glass smashed. Now apparently if the glass smashes, every one of you gets into trouble. Something happens with all of you. Within a week, 2 of them broke their arm, 1 broke their leg, and the other one had a motorbike accident. That I can remember that. It was all in the space of a week. Every one of them had an incident that didn't kill them, but serious incident. You know what I mean? That's why I wouldn't touch the Ouija board. I know I've been places with my other mates when I was growing up. They're like, "Yeah, just do the Ouija board." I'm like, "Nah, I'm out of there. Go, see ya. I'm not contacting no one. I don't need to do anything stupid like
They
that."
could be faking it, but there's a chance that you never know.
Nah, you don't do things like that.
Some of my friends at university did that, but nothing happened to them.
Yeah.
They did it, but I was like, no, I don't know.
You just don't need to, even though you don't need to believe in it. You just think, no, what if?
chance?
There's
Yeah.
always that what if, isn't there?
It's like, why tempt fate? It's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dad's always warned me about Ouija boards and never to do them.
Who?
Your dad.
He's always saying that's the one thing you should never ever do.
And
Never
why
like-
would he tell you that?
He just said never ever try it.
Because he knows something that's happened and he won't tell you.
Maybe.
Seriously.
He said never do that, never try and contact the other side.
Never say the... Yeah, and that was the Lord's Prayer backwards in the mirror and stuff like that.
I don't know about that one.
You're not... Don't even try that one.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, you're supposed to see the true reflection of the devil if you do that or something.
But that's the sort of thing, yes, just do it.
It could be urban legend.
You might be.
But why
you
might
might
risk
have to do
it?
You might have to do it in the original language the Lord's Prayer was in.
I wouldn't even want to tempt it.
No, but
anyway.
I'm just saying. I wouldn't do it anyway. It's like that Bloody Mary thing. I've never tried it, but I don't think it's real. But I wouldn't do it anyway.
It's like the Candyman, could you say it? Because it's a film, even though it's a film.
Candyman. What?
Shut up.
What? I don't know what.
Just shut up. See?
I don't know.
He would. He's an idiot. He was
I
standing in
haven't-
front of
I
me
have
and said
not
the Lord's
seen-
Prayer backwards and all.
No, I wouldn't. I haven't seen the Candyman. I don't know what it is.
Well, then I'm saying, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
But
so
as a scientist, how can you believe in these things?
Yeah.
But any-
That's a good shout.
It's true. It is true. It's very difficult for me to kind of have a faith and to be scientific at the same time.
But isn't that just science that hasn't been discovered?
But my faith is strong. I know there's things I can't explain, which has happened to my family. Scientifically, I can't explain. So I do believe there is a God, and He does things we just can't explain.
Yeah.
Like the time when that woman came through the bathroom. Couldn't explain that.
It was a blow.
didn't you tell me the story once where you went to some kind of a graveyard and you had to solve a rat problem, and there was like they were eating bits
Bodies.
of bodies and
Yeah,
so.
man.
Tell me about it, man.
I was fresh into the job, and I've been called out because the people who live, I don't know what they call them, to be honest with you. The curator? No.
Caretaker.
Like a caretaker, you know, he's got family, kids and that. She's called because of the rats who are in her garden. Well, her garden is in the middle of a fucking graveyard.
Oh, great.
And I'm like, okay, so I'm looking around and I'm thinking, okay, where are they living? And I've gone round to the other bit and I've saw, I'm not joking, holes galore, proper tunnels of rats, you know. There's about 25 graves. Some of them pretty fresh because you can see the mound's quite high. And the rats were just running in and out, in and out. And then I spoke to the caretaker guy, he was there, and I said to him, how long has this been like this? He said, oh, it's always like this with the fresh bodies, that's what they do. The rats go in and just munch away. He said, well, all we ask you, you know, every now and then we just call you out to try and contain it from getting into the house. I said, well, all the time? I said, yeah, he said, the thing is, it's got so bad now that even when people are coming to put flowers on the yeah, rats are coming out. Eating all the flesh. Oh, I mean, that's what they do.
You know? Imagine just like you're putting flowers on graves, and then you see the finger of the person you bury. You're putting flowers.
Yeah, and you're just looking at it, thinking, oh, I felt really bad. I felt sorry for the people. I mean, they're dead. They're going to eat them. You know, fair play. You know, back to earth we go. But I felt sorry for the people who come to see them
because there's a fresh grave.
It's a fresh grave and like little kids' graves and all that lot. Oh. It's not nice. Yeah, being eaten alive. Well, no, eating the dead. No, it's not nice.
I heard the story. I went on one of these ghost walks, and what happened, let me turn this around, was back in the days, there used to be like people that would bury like their loved ones with their jewellery and stuff.
And you go nick it.
And so, yeah, that's exactly what happened. There was like a story about this woman who, she died, so her husband's really sad. He buried her with her jewellery, put her in the church, and then that night grave robbers broke into the church and they opened the coffin and they tried to get the rings off, but the rings were like really stuck onto her fingers and they were stiff as well, and so they couldn't get it off. So what they did, they got like some scissors or clippers or something, and they were going to clip her fingers to get the thing, and as soon as they did that, she went, ah! She was still alive. And they shit their pants and just ran out. And she woke up and she was bleeding in her hand. And it turned out that she wasn't dead. She suffered from that condition where you fall asleep.
Oh, thank fuck they did that.
You know what? I thought you were telling me a joke to make me scared, because when you've done the scream,
No, it's a true story. Yeah. And so she went, but think about this. She got out of the coffin, went back to her house, rang the doorbell, and the husband answered the door.
Had a heart attack.
He obviously shit his pants, but then everything was okay.
Oh, you didn't have a heart attack?
That was okay. That would have been a disaster, but that was alright. Apparently everything turned out okay.
Well, in the old days,
what's narcolepsy?
If you were in like a coma or anything, they'd bury you, and if you didn't like knock on the grave within the first day, wasn't it? Or was it like
no. What they used to, who are you talking about?
When the old days, when they used to bury the people that like, had like possible comas and stuff. And then they buried them, and then like they'd leave them like solo, and if they heard banging, they'd open them up. If they didn't, they'd leave them buried.
Well, I know that in the old days when in the like, you know, when we were using ships and things like that, they used to put when they used to stitch you up, didn't they? In your hammock when you died on the ship, the last one had to go through your nose, didn't it, to make sure that you was either dead or not faking it, or to make sure that you didn't have that condition.
Oh right.
But mainly to make sure that they proved that you were dead, because you couldn't handle a needle going through your nose on the last stitch. And then what they used to do, if you were actually in there, they'd kill you anyway. If you was pretending to try and get out, do you know what I mean?
Oh right.
Yeah.
So, might as well just throw him off and jump.
They did some weird sick shit. That thing that he was telling us earlier about the feet being boiled, that was all, wasn't it? You know what? People come out with some weird sick shit to do as torture, don't they?
Yeah.
Weird stuff.
Yeah, it must be more. Thousands of ways.
Ugh.
Hundreds of thousands.
It's like, let's think of the most glorious thing to do.
And do it.
And do it. You know, to make sustainable
it's like, well,
pain.
this works really well, and this works really well. Let's combine the two and make it even worse.
We'll boil this part, chop this part off, pull the fingernails out of this bit.
Drill a hole in the teeth.
There was another story that I heard on another ghost walk, and basically what happened was there was a guy who, you know, like back in the days, people used to eat loads of sweets, but they didn't really have great dental hygiene. So most of the people had like really black teeth or rotten and stuff. It's usually the rich people that had that, because the poor people, they couldn't afford sweets.
No,
so they had like better, they much healthier kind of.
Yeah.
You're right there.
Yeah.
First one out.
Yeah, I probably will be falling asleep in a minute. So I'm just
Okay,
gonna-
no worries. I'll carry on. So basically, there was this one guy who was poor, but he had an amazing set of teeth. And people would pass him by and say, "Wow, look at your amazing teeth." And some people were jealous of that, especially rich people. And so one day he died from some kind of a disease or something, probably some kind of, I don't know, whatever was going around at the time, cholera. I think it was cholera. And they buried him in a church or whatever. But then that night, his father, who buried him, had like a dream, vision of his son saying, "Father, help me, why do they hurt me?" And the father was like, "Oh, what's that about?" And he just said, "No, forget it, it's nonsense." Dreamt again, Father, come, help me, quick, they're hurting me. And he was holding his jaw like that, and the father was like, he woke his wife up and said, "Something's not right." She said, "Ignore it, it's nothing." And again it happened, and this time the jaw was like kind of like hanging, and "Father, help me," like that. And he said, I need to find out what's going on." He went to the church. The church had been broken in, the coffin was open, and what the they stole it. They pulled all the teeth out of the body, and what they did, they sold the teeth, and someone made some kind of dentures or whatever, sold it to some rich bloke. So there's a rich bloke walking around.
I mean, Alex, when she was telling us about that recently, wasn't it? Where did she?
Oh, they do it in certain countries where they take your teeth and sell them in the black market, and the dentist will put them into someone else's mouth.
It was like, was it
Like
India or something like that?
Yeah, it was like one of these like
Bangladesh or something like that. One of her
black
colleagues,
markets.
one of her colleagues had gone, trekking, and there was something that was in the market stall, wasn't it? No, there was something on the market stall that the woman.
All the dentures, no, it was the dentures, all the dentures there, and right next to it, which they didn't realise because they had a picture, and when they looked at the picture, it was full of teeth.
Yeah, a bucket full of teeth
that you
from
could
dead
buy
people that they
to use to put it in your mouth.
Yeah, they pull them out of the young kids anyway, and they'll also take them off the dead bodies.
Don't, seriously, don't do that again, okay? Seriously.
I'll wait till they come.
That's different.
Yeah.
As if they are coming, they're probably gone to sleep.
Hang on, what's the time?
It's like 1 o'clock.
It's actually nearly 1 o'clock,
Yeah.
and nothing's happened. It's been an hour.
Well, we have some good stories.
Yeah, but it's been an hour. It started at 12.
It's not the same though, is it?
Maybe we should dim the lights. Maybe they think they're not going to come until the lights go off.
It's fine.
You reckon? Yeah. I reckon they're not coming in until they reckon they're not going to get us till about 3 or 4 in the morning.
You think so?
Yeah. They're waiting for us to go to. They're waiting for us to be asleep.
Remember, even with Alton, there was like a big build-up of tension.
That's true.
What would be really cool is if you could design a room from scratch with all the trapdoors and...
That's
secret
what they need to
passage.
do, Andy. They need to do that because this is what we were saying earlier. Can you imagine someone just tearing through that, bricking it? You would probably
Can you
actually leave
imagine that?
stains on the floor. Seriously.
Can you imagine?
What the fuck was that?
Don't know. As you say, the fucking wall, you know. The wall fucking...
I ain't being funny. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
I did.
But as you said it as well, you don't get worse than that.
That we've been in here how long and that hasn't happened. And then he mentions it and that happens.
It's 1 o'clock now.
I'm in Chester at Ye Old King's Head, one of the most haunted inns in the UK.
Welcome to Psycho Town.
Best friends forever! Best friends forever! Best friends forever! Best friends forever!
Do I want this off now? What's happened now?
What are your intentions towards my daughter? No one goes in the cellar!